Good Monday morning, August 10th, 2026. Ken Arzon talking baseball. Pitching starts. I was curious about that stat for pitchers. Games started in a season. Who had the most season by season? And who made the top 5 pitchers multiple times? In a book I wrote, Yearly Leaders of Every Pitching Category, I have the answers. And I've been going decade by decade, starting with the 1870s. This video, the 1920s. 1920 through 1929, top 5 games started by pitchers. Pete Alexander started 40 games. Red Faber, 39. Jim Bagby, Stan Koviski, and Lefty Williams, 38. 1921, Stan Koviski, 40 starts. Red Faber, 39. Sad Sam Jones, Carl Mays, Urban Shocker, 38. 1922 season, top 5. George Yulee, 40 starts. Red Faber, third year in a row for him. He's a Hall of Famer. Top 5. 38, Urban Shocker, Ebba Rixey, 38. Herman Pillett, 37. 1923 season, George Yulee, 44 starts. Hooks Dawes, Howard Emick, 39. Wilbur Cooper, Burleigh Grimes, 38. 1924 season, Walter Johnson led the league, 38 starts. Howard Emick, Hollis Thurston, Burleigh Grimes, 36. Wilbur Cooper, 35. 1925 season, Pete Donahue, 38. Jimmy Wren, 37. Dolph Lug, 36. Eppa Rixey, second time for him, top 5, 36. Slim Harris, 33. 1926 season, George Yulee, third time for him. Not a Hall of Famer. 36 starts. Pete Donahue, 36. Stan Koviski, Earl Whitehill, and Hal Carson, 34. 1927 season, Lee Meadows, 38 starts. Tommy Thomas, 36. Jesse Haynes, Charlie Root, 36. Ted Blankenship, 34. 1928 season, George Pipgrass, 38. Burleigh Grimes, Eppa Rixey, 37. Larry Benton, 36. Red Ruffing, 34. 1929 season, we'll finish the decade of the 1920s. Watson Clark, 38. Sam Gray, Lefty Grove, first time for him, 37. Carl Hubble, Claude Willoughby, 35. So the 1920s, the highest number of starts by a pitcher in that decade was 44 by George Yulee, and the average is about 37 starts in a season. What a contrast between the old school era of the 1870s, 80s, and 90s. Remember when I went over those videos? Guys were starting 50, 60, and 70 games. Now the trend in the 1920s, 35, 36, 37, and a couple guys reach 40 starts in a season. What a contrast. Why do you suppose that is? Because pitchers are not pitching every day like they used to, or every other day. And there's more pitchers on the roster than they had in the old school era before 1900. They didn't have as many pitchers on the roster. Now, post 1900, more pitchers are on the team roster. I think they had like maybe 8, 9, or 10 pitchers in the 1920s on teams. Whereas 1870s, 80s, and 90s, I think they had like 3, 4, and 5 pitchers at the most. That's the contrast. All right, who stood out 1920s? Nobody really. Had some Hall of Famers: Red Faber, Eva Rixey, Burleigh Grimes, Walter Johnson, Jesse Haynes, but nobody really dominated as far as starts. Okay. All right, next video, let's look at the 1930s. Let's see what the numbers are as far as pitching starts. Talk to you later. I'm out.